Good morning, family. Welcome to the final, the big finale. 19 hours to go, less than 24 hours to go, and we have had it revealed what the final stretch goals are going to be, and boy, are they good. So, firstly, just to say, family, thank you for joining me in this talk-through series looking at the Cthulhu Death May Die Fear of the Unknown Kickstarter. This is something that I wish there was more content of out there on YouTube. Just talking through a particular Kickstarter, looking at all the expansions, all the goodies that have come along. Please go and have a look at the other videos that I've produced for this. If you do value this kind of content, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, anything you'd like to see of this ilk, any of your favourite Kickstarters currently running at the moment, and it just gives you an opportunity, hopefully, to be able to hear someone talking through the Kickstarter whilst you busy yourselves doing other stuff. So if you've enjoyed this, if you've valued this, please drop a comment, hit subscribe, leave a like, and let me know. But enough of that, let's dig into the goodness. We have passed the $3 million mark here. So currently just over £2.5 million for Great British Sterling. But we have here the dollars rating, so 3,010,000, and we'll have a look at what the last stretch goal figures are to be unlocked. We're into the last 19 hours. So here is update number 55. We unlocked Charles. So this was the final investigator figure and dashboard. Right, does that face look familiar to you? So Charles Holler from Durham, North Carolina. So these things don't have music. Music is what makes us human. Let's have a look what it says about Charles. When played just right, music can be a type of magic. There may be something mystical about Charles' tunes, but he claims that it's just the sheer number of practice hours he puts in. Whether by magic or talent, Charles' inspiring performance as his skill grants inspiration tokens to allies at the cost of Charles foregoing a die result of choice. Charles comes with 8 such tokens, and they share a common back, so you can be randomised. Inspiration tokens can be discarded by investigators to gain hit, elder sign, or tentacle results. Should Charles further develop his signature skill granting tokens with stress as well. He's a perfect sportive investigator. His arcane mastery lets him control dice rolls, a nice synergy with inspiring performance, and brawling allows him to better combat enemies in his space. It's always nice to have someone close by who can relieve the stress from your shoulders. There he is, painted up as well. Fantastic. So, sounding the trumpets usually heralds the coming of great things, often terrible, yes, but great. And so we have the final stretch goal unlocked, and it is the twin blasphemies. Answer the call. If there's one thing we've learned about the Elder Ones, is they are always listening. We have been joined by investigators. A plethora of monsters shuffle towards us. We've discovered lost episodes. We have celebrated All Hallows Eve together. We thought the unknown had played its cards, but nothing prepared us for what's coming next. You asked for an Elder One. We give you 2. We have just unlocked Nug, the Elder One figure, and when we reach that extra 180k, 170k in dollars, then we will also unlock Yeb as individual Elder Ones. And then finally, if we reach 3.25 million folks, then we will get Nug and Yeb Elder One contents, 4 Elder One cards, 1 monster card, 8 mythos cards, tokens and box. So let's dive in and see what this monstrosity has been unleashed upon us. As we near the end of the campaign, we're proud to unveil a very special set of stretch goals which together form up to brand new Elder box. More than just one Elder One encounter. This box provides 2 different Elder One encounters. Let's get to meet them. We have Nug. I learned about this one growing up. No, you really don't want to know how. Nug is the male half of Nug and Yeb and father of the mythic figure Cthulhu. Wow. Nug is one half of a larger threat, and it's never seen without its other half. It's odd to think of them as family by human definitions. It's even harder to accept what Nug has spawned, Cthulhu himself. Wow, look at that. So it's definitely a forming of a leg there. Lots and lots of tentacles. Lots of detail. Fantastic. Here we go. And the painted up finger. Resin figure there. Brilliant job by Robert Carson. And again we have Yeb. I believe this one is technically female, but it hardly matters. Also, who can tell? Yeb is the female twin of the infamous pair, a fearsome deity of cruel intelligence with nothing but hatred for all living things. Wow, look at that. Yeb is also parent to something as horrifying as itself, Sathogua, sharing the same maleficent objectives as its sibling. Yeb exerts great influence over human lackeys, their minds easily swayed before the majesty of the twins. Fantastic. Just superb. Very tentacly, very spiny, beautiful sculpt. Here we go, and painted up by Robert Carson. Excellent. So gameplay. Let's have a look. What does it actually bring to the table? This is something we've never seen to date. 2 Elder Ones interacting on the table at the same time. Known as the twin blasphemies for good reason, they're spawned out of space according to the cultist texts and have been tasked with clearing the earth for the old ones to return. Ominous to say the least. These creatures look bizarre beyond imagination and are powerful beyond nightmare. It is theorized that many monster types come from these creatures by one means or another. They appear to be active creatures, not sleeping like so many of the others, and have many cultists devoted to their names as a result. What in the hell kind of family true spawns twins like that? There's the quote. There we are, there's the box for Nug and Yeb. Features 4 Elder One cards, 1 monster card, 8 mythos cards, 1 double-sided influence dashboard, a tracker token, and during gameplay both twins are always used together. However, players choose one of them to be the main Elder One. The Elder One goes on the influence board and the other goes on the summoning track. All components have information of a Neb on one side and Yeb on the other. So this Elder provides 2 different epic Elder One encounters where 2 Elder entities ally against the investigators. So let's have a look. What is this influence track of which it makes reference? When an effect moves the Elder One on the influence track, it moves the indicated number of spaces, triggering the effect of each space it enters. Furthermore, each space in the influence track has a related effect that affects all cultists on the board while the Elder One is on that space. Since Doug and Yeb each use a different side of the dashboard, those effects are completely different based on which one you choose to be the main Elder One. When the ritual is disrupted, Nub and Yeb are summoned in the investigator space. As usual, tokens substitute them on the tracks when the figures enter the board. Both Nub and Yeb must be defeated to clear the stage, while the stats for the Elder Ones is on the Elder One card, the other is on the Minions card. Note, though, that the other Elder One still counts as an Elder One for the rules purposes, not as a monster. So all these, you're targeting any of your skills, abilities, any of the sort of the gameplay stuff that says this impacts a monster or cultist or what have you, will not count against the Elder One. So as you can see then, so this is the activating token that'll move around this board, and you have various things like move the furthest gate one space towards you. Wow, the gates are moving. Wow. Each investigator loses 2 sanity, someone cultist in your space. Each investigator loses 2 sanity, someone cultist in your space. Activate your insanity. Wow, fantastic. Moving Nug on the influence track. When an effect moves Nug on the influence track, move a number of spaces clockwise, one at a time, triggering the effects of each space it enters. Summoning with Nug and Neo summoned, the Neg token replaces Nug on the influence track, while the progression token replaces Yeb on the summoning track. So there we go, and this is what the setup would look like. So with setup, Nug and Neo is the main Eldon, and Nug starts on the influence track and Yeb on the summoning track. As Nug moves on the influence track, various effects spread on the board. For example, investigators trigger their insanity without leveling up. Ouch. Lose sanity and gates move. Wow. Crazy. The amount of episodes there are where gates are just so critical in terms of their positioning and being able to get to them, keep away from monsters, all that sort of stuff. That comes massively into effect here. Change where enemies are spawned for the rest of the game. So there are also 3 different effects that Nug may grant to cultists depending on the space of the board where it's located. Cultists might roll extra dice, counter elder signs, count as tentacles when attacking, or reduce wounds taken by 1. When playing Nug as main, Yeb grows stronger when the sibling is removed. When Nug is no longer on the board, Yeb gains extra health. Wow. There we go, and there's a sneaky peek at what those cards, the stages of Nug will bring. And there is Yeg. So if Nug is not on the board, Yeb has 4 extra health, so 16 damage to defeat Yeb. Now, and Yeb playing as the Elder One, you flip this over. So it looks at each investigator takes 1 stress or 1 wound if they cannot take it. Summon a cultist in your space. Each investigator stress or a wound. Discard 1 item or companion unless you take 2 stress. Place a fire token in your space and summon a cultist in your space. Wow. So same deal. When your effect moves Yeb on the influence track, move it number of spaces clockwise, triggering the effects. And then summoning, when Yeb and Nug are summoned, you put a token on here to progress instead. And there's the setup with Yeb going on the influence track and Nug on the summoning track. Yeb's influence causes stress, wounds, makes investigators discard their discovery cards, and even sprays the board with fire that cannot be extinguished unless the episode allows it. Of course, without the so in episode 1 of season 1, you had the ability to extinguish fire. So unless you're playing that, that fire will stick around for good. Cultists might cause stress when attacking or being attacked. Wow. Dealing wounds counts elder signs as successes. And then these are the various stages for Yeb coming out onto the board. And when Nug is playing as the monster, if Yeb is not on the board, Nug gains an extra green die when attacking 5 dice. That's gotta hurt. Can you face the horrors of these twin blasphemies and still retain your sanity? Well, can you? So here it is. This is the final push. People, we're still seeing this live, counting up. We have 18 hours now left to go, over coming up to 19,000 backers, over 18,500 backers. Can we see this? We of course did have the new all unknowable pledge, was the original. We now have the all-knowing pledge, so that is a gameplay for a $40 discount. That is, just to be clear, $40 discount on the ESRP, which I'm guessing would be the estimated retail price rather than MSRP. But yes, obviously you get the Fear of the Unknown core box, Ithaqua Elder 1, the Animals, the Season 4 expansion, and effectively you get $10 off the actual the discounted prices that you'll get in this campaign. Everything being added to your place. This is all the Kickstarter exclusives content. So we have for 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 27 new investigators to add. Nug and Yeb will be Kickstarter exclusive. So we've already hit one of those stretch goals. Hypnos and Lost Episode 4. Keziah Mason and Brown Jenkin Lost Episode 5. The Colour Out of Space and the Mutated Animals Lost Episode 6. And Rang Tegoth and Nopcare as Lost Episode 7. As well as Kickstarter exclusive monsters, Zoogs, Cats from Savon and Imbi, and Kelatpran, and Inhabit of the Nameless City, and Gokos and Vormi. Fantastic, as well as the ability to cross-compatible all of those monsters in every episode and everything in all those boxes, with all the original content, and of course your Relic Queen for the Skull and Pumpkin relics. You have the option to add individual items. Here I was saying about the $80 ESRP versus $65 is what you would get the discount for there, and another $5 off there on the Ithaqua Animal Allies, and you can still add additionally as exclusive content the Relay Rising and the Unspeakable box, as well as those extra dice. Don't forget those frosted dice are Kickstarter exclusive, and you will need lots of dice playing this game. And that's it. That is all the content of this madness of a Kickstarter. I hope you've enjoyed those the talk throughs. Like I say, I said at the beginning, if you found this useful, if you've appreciated this, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a comment below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, let me know if there's anything else you're excited about on the Kickstarters or any other crowdfunding platform right now, BackerKit, GameFound, and yeah, hopefully be speaking to you soon, family. Thank you for joining on this whirlwind of an adventure, and thanks for watching.